FaZe clan is effed. Everyone left.
What's poppin', y'all? Looks like FaZe Clan, like most other orgs, is cooked and going in the deep fryer after what was a crazy run that they were on. But this used to be a joke, and they all played about it earlier in the year. But this time it looks to be serious because a bunch of them started tweeting out. So first, well, not first, but I'm not going in order. Stable Ronaldo, one of their most popular streamers, would tweet out left at FaZe Clan, and then followed by Silky, left at FaZe Clan. And then also Jason the Ween, left at FaZe Clan. And Lacey, also left at FaZe Clan. And would go on to say, shout out to my community for having my back through everything. Love y'all and see you soon. So a lot of people were wondering what the hell was going on here. And Blackboy Max's cousin would react to the situation and give a little bit of insight as to what might be going on right now with FaZe and why a bunch of people are leaving, and also what had happened with Blackboy Max.
Like, I'll give you one part. Gang, you see that little townhouse? You see that little townhouse that Max was in? And FaZe? They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the f? Or give a percentage of myself. What the f? But Max is such a good. He just, yo, bro, I just want to. And now, like, Max look crazy, look like egoed out. No, that's not cool, though. Like, taking on the chin, making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro.
Is this his real cousin? Because his real cousin is really spilling the beans to be his real cousin. You know what I mean? How you going over here just out everything? You know what I mean? I don't know what townhouse they talking about. Maybe they were charging him because they got him a townhouse that wasn't like the FaZe house. You know what I mean? Which could make sense. Like, if they're paying for the townhouse for him to live in it when he could just live in the FaZe house. But that's only if they were paying 20 bands a month for the townhouse. I don't know. But hey, bro, niggas spilling too much information, you know what I mean? I'm sure Max would watch this and be like, bro, why you telling everybody the shit that I told you? If I wanted these niggas to know, I would have told these niggas. Unless Max said, you could tell them niggas, so I don't have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? That's different.
Don't know the truth. So, of course, he's going to look like this. Oh, this just worried about himself. Nothing.
Here, I kind of understand what's going on because, dog, like, you're not about to just... This is the thing. The situation that they had was damn near a charity that they expected to keep going. And I always saw Blackboy Max just being bigger than FaZe, more so than him. If they were going to take a percentage, it made sense that he would leave. He's like, yo, I'm bigger than you guys. I don't need you guys. My brand, 5-star, I'm going to get a percentage taken for what? To represent and promote your brand even more? Nah, it doesn't make sense. So I completely understand why Blackboy Max left. And there were these resurfaced texts from Your Age's friend from months ago, from back in May, where Your Rage was saying, my fault, I ain't see this, I had to stop what I was doing, fly across the country to handle this BS FaZe stuff. They was trying to F with people's money. It's handled though. This is why I stayed in Florida. FLA, I got newborn puppies I need to be taken care of. Funny enough, Banks comes out of nowhere because everyone's looking at him and they're like, yo, what's the deal? Because people are saying that Banks sold the percentage that he owned, the percentage that he had left, and then he came out and then these new people were like, all right, we got to start making some paper. And Banks said, I have nothing to do with what's going on at FaZe Clan right now. I left 4 months ago and have moved on with my life. Unfortunate to see, wishing everyone involved the best. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm here.
Yo, Banks is hilarious because I guess he sold his percentage and then just disappeared off the map. Honestly, after Banks left, but I'm pretty sure Banks had to leave because he got into some type of scandal, right? I don't really remember. I think it was the crypto stuff, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Banks had to leave. But after Banks left, I feel like that was the only, real like face of FaZe when it comes to like the back end. So after that, leaving it up to whoever the hell else, I would be, pretty confident that everybody else is going to end up leaving after that, honestly. So it's kind of make a lot of sense, honestly. Shit. If Banks left, everybody else, you know, was soon to come. They were just waiting for the right time. They was waiting for FaZe to do the itsy bitsy tiniest little thing for them to start spazzing. I don't even understand how niggas was making money off of FaZe. You know? Maybe like if they're in FaZe, they have to make YouTube videos with FaZe, and then they can get like endorsements and things of that nature for the FaZe YouTube channel. But it just don't make sense. But that's what he's saying. He said like they were trying to make more bread. But yeah, I mean, they have all these streamers just living in the crib for free based off of what I know. And you know, I don't know how they were making money, to be honest. To be real though.
Nobody loves FaZe more than me. I keep it a buck. It sounds like FaZe Rain loves FaZe more than this guy. That guy's the only one left. These new gen guys all came in. They all left. FaZe Rain is like the last man standing. And it's funny how Banks is never involved. Like he left because of that crypto MLG situation. Okay, yeah. But it's funny how all this shiesty stuff is always happening around FaZe Banks. Like Save the Kids, the old CSGO gambling stuff, if you guys remember that. The MLG stuff. And then now this.
Bro, FaZe Banks is trying to make his money, bro. Nigga's trying to get to his bag. Nigga don't care about nothing else but the munyon. You know what I mean?
Or different iterations of FaZe. Like the initial time he sold all of it and then bought it back, and then now this. But it's just, you know, he's just trying to help everybody for some reason. Like it's just all this stuff is happening around him and he has nothing to do with it. It's crazy. Like it's just coincidence after coincidence after coincidence. And I mean, I don't know, like what can I say? But Aiden Ross would respond to this situation and give these guys a piece of advice. I'm gonna play that clip for you guys right now.
But here's what I think needs to happen if I'm the FaZe boys. You guys need to leave FaZe, rebrand into a new group so you guys have equity of your own group, right? You guys need to have full-on equity of your own group. Leave FaZe, rebrand, and that's what you guys got to do. Because then guess what? You all that stuff that you guys don't with that FaZe stays, and you guys get to go on and do your own thing, and you guys have all equity of your own. And that means you guys have full control, and you guys can do whatever the you guys want to do because you guys own it. That's what I think needs to happen. Because honestly, bro, I hate seeing go like this, bro, from both sides, honestly. I hate it. I hate it.
So he's telling these guys, all right, y'all got to start running your own org. And what's funny is FaZe Lacy's brother is saying that that's the plan that they have. I want to play you guys that clip.
What's going to happen is FaZe Clan is going to... Something obviously happened, obviously. And they are going to... Their thought was we're going to continue to be a group, but we're just going to start our own thing together without FaZe.
And even XQC was having this conversation with Stable Ronaldo a while back. These guys have a very fun relationship. They have a lot of banter back and forth. So I'm going to play you guys that right now.
It's unfortunate to say it, right? And I don't want to be the one that bear bad news, right? But this whole FaZe thing, like, it's going to come to a halt very soon once the pressure has turned up. Because reality is, you guys have no equity in this, right? You're under no contracts, right? And soon enough, one way or the other, one of you guys is gonna want more, right? And it's gonna break the cohesion of the group. You guys are getting rolled now, low key.
X, I'll be surprised if this lasts another year. We're not even talking about equity. Call that. We're trying to see if we can make some money.
So here, I'll tell you guys exactly the moment when I said, oh, put this on a time clock. And it was a clip. I don't remember the exact video where I talked about it, but it was months and months ago. And it was when Jason the Ween was with Cutie Cinderella or somebody or
I don't know what they got going on with their damn hairs here. But, yeah, I think once everyone got bigger than FaZe was when the time clock, you know, started. Because everyone came into FaZe, maybe except for Max. Max was kind of bigger than the program. Rage, I think Rage is in FaZe, right? If I'm not mistaken. Rage, bigger than the program. But once everyone like the Ween and my dog Lacey, once they got bigger than the name FaZe, that's where things are kind of slowly crashing and burning, because why stay? They were just staying just off the pure fact that the FaZe clan helped them get to the point that they're at. But after they get to the point that they're at, it's like, damn, how long can, love and respect keep a nigga down? At some point, you gonna think to yourself, bruh, I'm trying to get a bag, and this shit just holding me back. You know what I'm saying? But there is no contracts, no nothing. That shit kind of crazy to me. I don't know how FaZe was even making money. That's the point. FaZe should have gave them contracts and should have did something in order to make them money, make themselves money, things of that nature. But it doesn't seem like that was happening. I wouldn't be surprised if FaZe had said that they were fucking bankrupt. Because where the fuck's the money coming from? Maybe endorsements for the FaZe group. But if they were getting endorsements from the FaZe group, not taking any money from them, and just throwing endorsements on top of them, and they're not making any money off the endorsements, I can see how shit can crash and burn really quickly if that's the case.
No, I think he was talking to Cinna, and he was saying, yo, you gotta be on FaZe. And she'd be like, yo, I would be the first lady of FaZe, or the first girl in FaZe clan. He's like, yeah, we got everything. You could live here for free. They give us a video production team for free if you ever want to do anything. All this free. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Because what happened was the person that bought 51%, because that was a disagreement that FaZe Rain had with, I think it was Banks or someone else. But he was upset with the 51%. That was the theme, because 51% majority, you get to make all the rules pretty much.
Facts.
So he had to get investors to buy it back, and then he owned whatever part, Banks that is. So the 51% was bought by, I believe it was the guy that owns DraftKings or something, some huge gambling company, and they're paying for the house. This is a gigantic house, mind you. That's why when Blackboy Max's cousin is talking about, oh, yo, they wanted him to pay 20 bands for that. Yeah, what? Do you realize where these guys are living? And did you see the size of Blackboy Max's room? That thing was, oh, yo, he had a room. That thing was a house. So yeah, 20 bands, or you're gonna either start paying rent, 20 bands, so we can start covering the cost of this house, or you're gonna give us a cut. I mean, I understand, and I understand why Blackboy Max left too. But when you're thinking this guy paid 51%, right? However much to buy it, and they're bleeding money. Some people are talking about yeah, dude, FaZe makes money from sponsor. What sponsors are you talking about? And also, Jason DeWeen was like, yo, they don't take any percentage. Lacey said that too. They don't take any percentage of our earnings. So they don't take a percentage of your earnings. They give you a production team and editors. They give you a house to live in, and you give them what? Now, you could say yeah, we're building the FaZe brand back up. Yes, sure, but they're going to want to cash in on that eventually, because that's where they're thinking. They're like, okay, we just put in a bunch of money. We're going to build these guys up, give them the resources that they need, and now that we have a brand, we're going to start, this got to start making money. These are business people. That's what they're after. And it's funny if Banks actually did sell that 30%, and really that guy he pumped and dumped. He pumped the stock of FaZe. He saw it at the peak, and he was like, all right, let me dump on these guys, and then the new guys come in, and they're like, okay, this operation, this cannot keep going the way that it's going. And why would they have equity too? Yeah, they built it up, but these guys, the streamers are just making so much that they don't need to think about equity. But then there comes they're going to start their own org. And this is where I'm like, this is a goofy, dumb decision. And this is where we actually got to cite mzkiff of all people, because mzkiff has experience doing this. He started an org with Asmongold, the biggest streamers at that time. He had a huge roster with the biggest guys, and he says an org is unprofitable. The only thing that came out of that org was Starforge PCs, which is a PC company, which is different from the org. They could have all just collectively promoted the PC company instead of the org, and the org hinges upon its members. That's what the org is. The thing with FaZe Clan that's very unique to it is that it's a brand. So really,
niggas are too big now. I feel like I get it now. I feel like I understand. When it comes to an org, the whole purpose is to build everybody inside the org and make them bigger through the org. But once everybody is bigger than the program, the org serves no purpose. It's like AMP. AMP came up as AMP, and then now everybody has their own platforms, and it's almost like AMP has no purpose because, okay, yeah, they're making YouTube videos together, and the YouTube videos make money on, but they're all bigger than the program at this point. Like, they don't even need the AMP videos. So it's almost like you need to make a org, grow a roster, have them be like, yo, we gonna take 5% of everything you make fucking forever if we blow you up through our org. Boom, blow them up, take 5%, erase the org, start fresh, blow them up, take 5%, erase the org. You know what I'm saying? Like, continuously do that until you got fucking a little 3% of like 30, 40, fucking 50, streamers and shit. And then that's the best possible way to make money on. But it don't seem to make sense, honestly, at all, after they become bigger than the program. Because then at that point, it's kind of like, this shit not helping us because we already making so much fucking money.
Realistically, like, they had a new gen that had nothing to do with the original FaZe, and it's just remembered as such a strong, not just symbol, but like what the brand represents in itself. Whereas a new org, that's not the same. And that's what OTK was. Like, what is an OTK now? You don't really know. And that's somebody that had experience. Said this thing is not going to make money. So for these guys to all come together and create an org, how does that work? Okay, yeah, you all have equity in something, but where's the money coming from? Okay, a sponsor. So now you guys get a sponsor.
It's almost just like y'all being homies and building a group because y'all want a reason to live in the same crib and all be homies and shit of that nature. That's cool. If y'all want to do that, do that. But the org ain't gonna help y'all unless y'all making YouTube videos together and y'all already getting millions of views on y'all own. It doesn't even make sense to make a YouTube channel together. That shit's probably like a fucking waste of time at that point, unless you're using it to pay for the crib and pay for everything that the org is going to do. So you guys just dedicate, a day of the week to make a YouTube video together to pay for the crib and pay for everything that you guys are going to do as a group. I guess that can kind of make sense if you guys want to continue building your name as a group and make the group, just larger. But it just don't really make sense unless you guys are going to do what I said, like make the group a certain fucking size, everybody disperse from the group and have new people come in. They do whatever, make them big, take 5%, boom, disperse that group. Another group come in, y'all make them big, take 5%, and boom. And if an org was able to do that and slowly erase all the important, all the main people, and then bring in new motherfuckers, and then blow them up, and then slowly erase them, and then bring in new motherfuckers, blow them up, that would be a money glitch. That would be a money glitch right there if you was able to sign niggas for, 3% for fucking life. You say, look, we taking 4% for the next 15 years. I'm not gonna lie, a nigga come to me and say, yo, we gonna blow you up. We gonna put you in FaZe part 2. And we gonna blow you up, but we gonna take 4% of all of your streaming income. Fuck all that other shit. You can do whatever else you want unless it's advertisement or sponsorships for your streaming. And we'll take 4%. Nigga, that's a hard no. That's a good sell right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna lie. That's probably the best way to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who would kind of tweak over a little 5%. But that's the point. The point is you take 5% of fucking 50 niggas. Seemed pretty good. It seemed like it makes sense to me, you know what I mean? But hey,
sponsor that you divvy up amongst all of yourselves, and now you're making pennies on the sponsor. Like, it's not the logistics, the amount of negotiation, the amount of time that it would take all of these guys to operate an org, and the pennies that they would make in comparison to what they would make just streaming. It doesn't make sense to create an org. The only thing makes sense is for them to just get another crib, which is probably what they were going to do. Because I initially thought that they just all left or they were going to start something new and pretend that they all left, and then for the new year they were going to come back with some new announcement for FaZe. But when Blackboy Max had this statement to say, that's when I realized, okay, this guy was not playing around. I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
One of this is to tell y'all this. We had no control. There was no control. We're just like we're puppets. At least that's what it felt like. You get what I'm saying? Anything could happen at any moment. Bro, Lacey love FaZe. This campaign for this shit. This nigga go hard as like hard as like how can that happen, bro? Right? Cool. It come time, y'all know the whole war happened, etc. Right? And then we had FaZe camp. I'm not gonna lie, for the past like 2 months, I was on some like, damn, like, am I really gonna leave? Am I gonna stay? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was like just on the fence with it because at the end of the day, I fuck with these niggas. But we don't own this. We don't. And we don't have control over our careers as much as we should have. Why?
This is where I don't know how much detail he's going into it, because when you guys look at Blackboy Max now and his content and when he was in FaZe, do you notice much of a difference? Do you feel like he's more free to do things now that he couldn't do back then? To me, it seems like he was able to do whatever he wanted whilst on FaZe. But I think it's just that they felt that they needed, or they had responsibilities and commitments they had to adhere to for the organization, which they would, or which he doesn't have to adhere to now. And I think that is different. And I do think that Max, like I said, felt that he was being used as a puppet to build a brand when he had his own brand. And that's why I always said that he should have left, because his brand is bigger. But then he would go on and talk about Lacey actually getting kicked out. And I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Fuck y'all up. Y'all remember when Lacey got kicked from FaZe? He really got kicked from FaZe. He got kicked from FaZe because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed a video shoot or something. And we were missing video shoots. And so he actually got kicked from FaZe. Granted, he was allowed back in a couple, later, because all had convos, but yes, he got kicked from FaZe. So my point of this is to tell y'all this.
So we all thought that this was a meme when he got kicked, but this is where I got to side with the business. It's like, dog, you guys are living for free. We're paying for these cameramen, and you're missing shoots. What's up with that? What do? You hop on stream. Why are you missing a shoot? Is this guy with his girlfriend? Because that's the only other reason I can think of. He doesn't have a job. He's not in college. It's like somebody's not sick. So what reason do you have to miss a video shoot? There is no reason. And you're living in the place for free. This is like the idea that people have that, like, yeah, they just get to live for free in a place that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably well over $100K a month to rent that place out. And this guy's not even going to show up to video shoots. Yeah, get him the hell out of here. And I mean, he was able to come back, but he probably shaped up after that in the time span between him being able to rejoin and now that they left, funny enough. But this is why I never thought that was going to work. These guys were way too big, and it seemed like there was an even exchange in that, well, even for the time period of them having their place paid for, but they were just making too much money. Like a lot of orgs, the big orgs that have been here for like 10 plus years, they'll sign a bunch of smaller streamers because they can't really afford the gigantic ones unless it's a huge like global org. But yeah, I don't see these guys. If these guys start an org, I promise you that thing is going to end within 18. I don't promise. I don't like to promise of something I can't control, but I will bet that it will be over within 18 months, and it'll just be like, it won't be an actual org. It'll just be like, oh, this is what we're calling our homies. Because it seems like the way Max is talking about it, because he hasn't given too much detail, he's like, yeah, we just wanted to be able to live here and, you know, rock FaZe and do whatever the hell we wanted. And that's not how a business is going to work. These guys, they didn't become billionaires doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense unless you run a org like you run, you know, record labels. You know, you give them an advance, you have them pay the advance back, and so on and so forth. You take a percentage, do all this shit. But not a lot of people are going to want to sign up for that unless they're not that big or just like starting off. But once niggas is making, you know, 50 bands a month, it's kind of like, nigga, you can't buy me at that point. But if you catch them early on, you should be able to, you know, you should be able to do that. But then it's like streaming record labels. It's going to be fucking terrible. But that's the only way that it makes sense for the orgs. The orgs don't make sense at this point because they're just kind of paying for everything for damn near for free. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the org isn't, you know, getting away with, you know, making just a little measly 50 bands a year. You know what I'm saying? Because when it really comes down to it, you got to pay for the house, you got to pay for, you know, the crew, all that shit that they're talking about, and the only source of income is sponsorships off of the sponsorships for the org, and maybe the YouTube videos that you guys do for the org. You know, I don't know if that shit makes sense, to be honest. You know, and of course that's why these niggas are in the org in the first place, because they're just, it's all a plus for them. They're like, yo, I get to be with my homies, I fuck with these guys, we all make YouTube videos together, I don't get paid off the YouTube videos, fuck it, whatever it is, what it is, but I get to also live in this house for free. They don't take a percentage of my shit. There ain't no fucking contracts. Nigga, this shit is amazing. This shit is beautiful. But it does have a time limit. That shit is a ticking time bomb. And that's why this nigga Banks kept getting in all these fucking scams. Nigga had to find a way to make money some way. You know what I'm saying? And then he finally, you know, sold his percentage just to kind of make a bag and disappear. Niggas thought that FaZe was making dumb money on. And then they fucking bought that shit and realized this shit ain't shit. And they try to turn it around, and then everyone was like, are you trying to take money from me? Nigga, this shit was free just a week ago. Now you trying to take cash from a nigga? Fuck y'all, I'm out of here. That's the only thing that makes sense. But, type shit. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And if nobody told you today, I love you. Peace.